It's not what you think.
This is Nardi Simpson. She's a musician who plays in a group called the Stiffgins. The Stiffgins formed 11 years ago when three girls met in Redfern, New South Wales. They had lots of early success, but are now finding it difficult to get to the next stage. The Stiffgins are in the process of reorganizing and planning a new journey for their new record and tour overseas.
Fall asleep to the sound of all their stories, oh no, and you're gone away from me.
Why did you start the Stiffgins?
Gone away.
I started in Stiffgins because I used to sing at school all the time. And after I finished high school, I enrolled at university and I was doing an arts degree and I hated it. I was like a tiny little person in a huge, big institution, no friends, nothing. I didn't know anyone and I didn't like it and I felt really small. And then someone told me that there's a TAFE centre around the corner that's auditioning for music course. And so I went and auditioned and that's where I met the people that I started the band with.
What were some of your early successes?
Some of the successes that we had was, it was really sudden, I think, when we first started, and it kind of had a life of its own, so we weren't making many decisions about where we were going and where we were singing. A lot of stuff seemed to come to us, which was great. And I remember we started, our first gig was down at Redfern Park, and someone asked us to go to Bankstown. We thought, oh, this is good. Someone asked us to go to Campbelltown. We thought we're getting out further and further. And our first ever trip was on a plane down to Melbourne. We sang down there for the Moomba Festival, and they flew us in. They picked us up at the airport, put us up at this at a hotel, drove us to the gig, did a gig, met all these amazing Cutch Edwards and Titus girls and a lot of Melbourne mob singers down there, Archie and Ruby down there. So then we did the gig and they put us in a car and they took us back to our comm, and then they picked us up the next morning, took us to the airport, and we were home and we thought, this is the life? We didn't have to actually do anything. Everything was done for us and we went down and sang for 45 minutes.
Why do you play music?
I love doing it and I love being creative and I love spending time with creative people. So we were lucky that things just happened for us for 10 years, but now we've hit a point where we've got a new CD. We can't do any more for ourselves if we don't get organised and if we don't start rehearsing more and if we don't have a plan and if we've had dreams in our head, but we never thought to write them down. So now we write them down so we can take steps to get to that instead of just putting it out there and hope that it happens. So we're working hard now on 5-year plans, on CD release plans, on single release plans, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 5 years. Well, we're planning it out because we want to achieve things now in the time that we have.
What's the difference between the Stiffgins now and, let's say, 10 years ago?
The difference between Stiffgins now and 10 years ago is that we have a vision that's not just left up to the universe. We know that we gotta work hard to go where we want to go. We want to go to Canada and do festival circuit over there. We're at a standard now that we want to be better than. So I feel like we've mucked around long enough. Now we're going to put our head down and we're going to try and make things happen now. Before other things just happen, now we're going to make things happen.
What are your little goals?
The little goals for us, it's all that footpath to where you're going to go. And we see our career as it's a journey. And it's going to move and flow, and great things will come, things that we didn't plan for, and things will set us back. But as long as you have faith in yourself and each other and you believe in what you're doing and you're working hard, you're going to have a safe and joyous passage to wherever that is. And that's what I believe too, if you always stay in contact with your mob who are here and mob who have gone away, then they look down, they help us out too. If you be respectful and do what we need to do by ancestors or country, then that good thing is carried with you and they help you too. be successful in whatever you want to do. So you got to do the hard work, but you also got to know that there's things there that can help you.
So your little goals actually help the big ones?
So all the little steps that we've had, that we take for our big 5-year plan, all those things they're huge achievements in itself anyway. So we wanted to make a CD and we put in for a grant and we got that grant and we thought, you know, this is the best thing ever that's happened to us. And then we realised you got to spend that money in this way to have a CD that's finished. So now we're trying to finish that CD and we're thinking when this CD's over it's going to be the best thing ever. And then, but we know that we've got to do a release plan and that's going to be a lot of work. And then we've got to do publicity and promotion. And then we've got to do a tour. So all these little things in the big picture are humongous things. And it's hard to think I'm never going to get to Canada because we haven't finished our CD yet. But we got the money. That's a big deal because a lot of mob don't have money to make their CD, and they're just as good, if not better, than stiff gins. So every little thing is a big thing, and everything you do should be celebrated. Everything you do is celebrated.
What advice can you give me to achieve my goals?
So my bit of advice from Nardi Simpson from Marrickville is to write down what you want to achieve. Plans are really good because you got it there in black and white and you'll have a go. But I just watched This Is It by Michael Jackson because I'm mad on Jackson 5 at the moment. And they said, my brother used to write down, stick it on his mirror saying, I want to be the best in the world. And he did it. So it goes to show that if you write things down and it's there in front of you, you can do it. He did it. It can be done. But also, I would like to just wish everybody a very safe and happy and prosperous journey in your learning and in your life, and to know that we always have mob around us. So a little bit of advice, but more a hope for your future, that you have a fantastic journey getting to wherever you're going to.
Driving around the block one more time. Driving